Hello, thank you for joining me in this sharing. The question that is presented today is, why are so many unhappy? Why are so many unhappy? Please give me one moment to receive source energy, known to me as the grand universe, a collective consciousness to assist ones with compassion and kindness, love towards oneself and Mother Earth. We are here. We are here eager to share. We are here wanting to be playful. And isn't it something to want to be playful with the question that is presented, why are one so unhappy? For when one is unhappy, playfulness is not to be found. Tracy the channel truly has no idea what the words are going to be. She has no idea. She is receiving the information, receiving the words, if you will, and presenting it forth. She has no pre-notion of what is going to be said. And she herself is extremely interested because she often looks around and asks herself, why are so many unhappy? And even far greater, she looks around and she asks herself, why am I feeling unhappy? Why am I feeling unhappy? With an abundance of goodness within. Why do I feel unhappy? So many feel unhappy. Loss, disappointments, experiences, feeling beaten. Why do ones feel so unhappy? And why does it feel like many, if not all at times, feel unhappy? So we want to sort of sift through all this to provide a light, if you will, to provide light upon your light. We didn't present the question. We've chosen the questions. We've chosen questions that we wanted to share the answers to. We chose the questions that we felt would resonate with others. We did not present the question, why are ones not feeling joy? Doesn't the word joy feel bigger than happy? One can feel happy, but they don't feel joyous. One can feel happy, but they don't feel joy. There's sort of a level up, if you will. It feels that joy is almost unattainable at times. It almost feels like it is unattainable at times. Happiness, yes, attain it. But joy, to be truly joyful about something, fleeting. It feels fleeting. So what does happen when one searches and finds happiness? Why is it that ones are living happily, joyously, and for some reason it doesn't take long that an unsettledness settles in? I'm really happy. I'm really happy. I've never felt such happiness. I am so content. I'm not used to this feeling. I just have a feeling something's going to come about and it's going to be short-lived. I'm going to lose it all. It's just not going to last. We have talked about ones condemning themselves. We've talked about the layers. Now, we know it is repetitive, and we're going to mention it again, time and time again. But once you really get a firm grasp on what we are conveying, it truly will open a space to greater understanding of why one is feeling the emotions that are opposite to joy and happiness. Most times one will convince themselves, if you will, that one is not deserving of happiness. They're not deserving of happiness. They're not deserving of things that they feel will create happiness. Or they go out and obtain what they feel, what brought the happiness, if you will. And it doesn't take long for them to talk themselves out of it, that is just not going to last. And even the thought of losing something once you obtain it. So you have this magnificent relationship, a spouse that you absolutely cherish and adore. And so often, not always, but often, one start talking themselves out of it. He or she is going to see my flaws. This can't be. This is too good to be true. This is too good to be true. I have never felt like this before. I have never felt such love and joy and happiness before. And so often it feels so foreign to one. And then they start convincing themselves they're not deserving of this happiness. They're not deserving of the lifetime that they are creating. One is going to walk away, or one is going to notice that there are flaws, and it starts, and it starts, and it starts, and it starts. Layer upon layer upon layer. We have said it time and time again. Be mindful with your words. Say kind things. Know that you are deserving of all that is good. Each soul is. So to answer the question, or to start to answer the question, why are so many unhappy? The first thing that we want to truly convey is that, and it seems so repetitive, yes, we heard it before, blah, blah, blah. Happiness comes from within. Happiness comes from within. Now, ones are usually in search for something outside of themselves to bring happiness to them. To bring happiness to them. So you know how it goes. I'll be happy when, and then it starts. I'll be happy when I'm finished school. I'll be happy when I graduate. I'll be happy when I'm married. I'll be happy when I divorce. I'll be happy when I move to a house that I really enjoy. I'll be happy when the children come. I'll be happy when the children are done school. I'll be happy when they are, and it goes on and on and on. So many are waiting for experiences to bring them happiness. To bring them happiness. I'll be happy when the children arrive, and then years later, I'll be happy when they leave the nest. They go on their own. Isn't that funny? I'll be happy when I'm married. And then there are times and ones that'll say, I'll be happy when I'm divorced. Be happy when I remarry. And it continues. I'll be happy when there's a new car in the yard. I'll be happy when we can move out of this small house and get into a bigger house. I'll be happy when I can move up that success ladder. I'll be happy when. So when ones are thinking about happiness, usually they're thinking about something coming to them and something that they're waiting for to happen. They're waiting for the children to grow, or they're waiting for the new job to arrive. They're climbing up the ladder, if you will, all taking time, all taking growth, all taking steps, but all sort of a sense of waiting. Be happy when I retire. Years ago it was happy when I find this job. Now it's happy when I retire. And then once they retire and they think, I'll be happy when I can contribute more to others. Be happy when I can use my skills, pick up a hobby. I'll be happy when. Happiness comes from within. And this is, we could go on and on and on, but we just want to share with you, where happiness comes from. It is held under all the layers. So you don't get the job that you really wanted. Does it make you happy? No. You're disappointed. And all these experiences that you were expecting to receive something or to achieve something, to obtain something that'll bring you happiness. And how often have you heard of one, they have this grandest car, they've wanted this car, and in 3 weeks' time, a month's time, they're sparked in the driveway and they're looking for something else to bring it to them. Be happy when I have the drink. I'll be happy when it is Friday night. I'm not happy it is Monday morning. I'll be happy when it is Friday. So many live waiting for something to bring them happiness. They're not going to even allow themselves to be happy on a Monday morning. It's Monday morning. Doesn't everyone know the start of a week? You woke up on Monday morning. That alone. But so many are conditioned to believe that it is Friday that will bring the joy. Just think about what we are sharing. So, in a nutshell, why are so many ones unhappy? Because they're expecting something. They believe the outcome is going to be different. Not living in the present moment. Thinking that in time, what they are wanting, that they feel is going to bring them happiness, short-lived. So many are convinced that happiness is short-lived. And many times it is, because ones are thinking something is going to bring them happiness. Once they find the spouse they desire, they're going to be happy. Does it last? How long is it lasting? Because ones are looking outside of themselves for happiness. Happiness is truly within. The treasure of happiness and joy is truly within. One must go searching. One of the ways that one can truly go searching is to remove the layers. Careful of the words that are said. Be careful of expectations. Expecting something and not receiving it when one thought they would receive it. Disappointing. It's hard to be happy when you're disappointed. Unhappiness is almost conditioning, if you will. Unhappiness is almost conditioning. Ones are conditioned to believe that happiness is for the other, not for oneself. And if one finds himself happy, they wait to see what's going to happen. Going to lose it all. Understand. Happiness comes from within. And once you can find it, it goes everywhere you go. You're not looking outside of yourself. You're not looking down the road for something to come or that you reach it. It is within you. How brilliant is that? Just think about it. How brilliant is that? Happiness is within you. You have to search for it. You find the treasure. Once you discover it, it is in your being. I almost want to say in your hands, but it isn't. It is within. And it walks with you everywhere you are. Just it is so buried underneath experiences or disappointments or waiting for something to happen. All buried. It is within you. It is you. You're beautiful, beautiful you. Don't go looking outside of yourself for happiness. Hard to do, hard to get your head around. Truly, ones feel that once something they accumulate or accomplish or whatever, fill in the blank, whatever they feel is going to bring them happiness, it feels short-lived because it is. All the changes and desires change. Oh, how many move into a home, it is their dream home, and years go by and they think, oh, let's start looking for a new home. This isn't, don't like the lawn, don't like the kitchen, don't like. Feeling the next home will bring them more happiness. They get to the next home and it's only a matter of time where they're looking around saying, well, we should have stayed where we were. It was closer to work or what have you. Think about all the things that are said to oneself, all the condemning to oneself. Think about it. Think about it. You'll hear it over and over and over. Chances are one is unhappy because they have condemned themselves, condemned what is around them, condemn what they have created or not created. It is all the same. It is all beating upon oneself. And when ones are unhappy, how can they put forth happiness? How can they put forth happiness in their daily activity? It is so easy. The question was, why are so many unhappy? Why is it a question? Because when you look about, you see unhappiness in the expressions. You have a conversation with someone and all they've done is complain. That's beating upon oneself, all the complaining. How does one feel happy when they find a million reasons to complain or many reasons to be offended? Happiness comes from within. And one of the best means of happiness, if you will, is to know that you are deserving of happiness. Take away the layers. You are deserving. It is yours. All souls are. You are deserving. Grandest thing that we can share. To know of one's inner brilliance. And how does one feel brilliant if they feel unhappy? This can go around and around and around and around and around and around. But bottom line, one sentence, happiness comes from within. Go searching. You'll not be disappointed. You'll not be disappointed when you realize and you discover it is who you are. Happiness always walks with you. Always. In all ways. But it's buried. Go find it. But don't find it outside of you. Don't find it in another. Don't wait for something to change. Don't wait for something to come to you. You're walking with happiness. Straightforward. But it isn't, because it is difficult to search for. Not always. Not always. But when ones discover it is within, when ones discover happiness is part of who they are, the light they are, the love they are, the joy they are, the world opens up. So we are going to conclude this segment. We are wanting to keep them shorter. Tracy is wanting to keep them shorter, and then she stops and realizes that they're not shorter. She doesn't have one around her. She is on her own doing these segments. And she is on her own, so she doesn't have one to say, okay, it is 10 minutes. We've mentioned that before. She cannot sort of focus on what she is doing and pay attention to a clock. So with that, go inward. Joy, happiness, love, your brilliant self, all held within, all part of who you are. You have it already. Celebrate. Celebrate the happiness that is already there. You just have to find it. You just have to search for it. Go search for one of your grandest treasures. Happiness, joy, bliss. Ah, there's great love for you. Thank you. Thank you.